Hello and welcome back. We are finally formally back. We got a bunch of tier lists that we want to make. Today we're gonna start off with two. We'll probably come up with more. And we'll just start doing things together because that's how videos work. So today we are doing what Jaquanas thankfully coined the Pokemon Mainline series tier list. It's not a normal tier list. We are not going to include every single entry. We are only going to include what we would consider to be the best of the earlier generations. So we're excluding red, blue, and especially yellow because yellow is a bit different. Gold, silver, and instead we're going to use fire red, leaf green, heart gold, soul silver. But we'll also include the emerald, the platinum, and the sequel games to Black and Sun and Moon. With me today, we've got Darian, Jaquan, and Mikey, who hasn't played every Pokemon game, but we're gonna have him here anyways because his opinion matters.
Hey.
All right, so you guys ready for this? This is gonna be a pretty quick one, actually.
Let's
This is
go.
probably gonna be a quick one. All right,
Yeah. Let's get started.
so
Let's get started.
for Gen 1, we have Pokemon's Fire Red and Leaf Green. What are you guys thinking?
Definitively, if anything, I'd give it a solid B.
Yeah, that's what I was
And
going for.
the reason why I would do that is that it's definitely a refined version of Red and Blue. Um, it's it's definitely the best version of Fire Red and Leaf Green. I mean, Gen
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, of Gen
Yeah.
1. Yep.
It does add story content, which I do like. I've played the game as recent as last year when I was doing my type run.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy it. The extra story and everything, there's like the Stevie Islands that you go to.
Yep.
Those are very eventful.
Oh, pretty cool.
You know, Team Rocket's there and get more lore. The only caveat that kind of hurts me for Gen 1 is that, you know, it's Gen 1. Like everything
Yeah.
is any new Pokemon is locked until the post game. Like
Yeah.
I literally one of my favorite Pokemon, which is Crobat. I can't have Crobat because
You need the national
apparently
decks, right?
as soon as when you try to evolve it, it'll say it's evolving and then something went wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's because in Gen 1, Crobat didn't exist. So they want you to have that Gen 1 experience. So Pokemon that
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
well, I mean like Crobat is the one of the exceptions. I don't think there's another Pokemon. I think because they don't give you access to anything else.
Yeah,
Like
because
the Sunstone
you don't have to
or
really worry
anything.
about the baby Pokemon. You don't really have to worry about
Yes.
those.
So Crobat was one of the main issues where I was like, damn, I don't want to play the whole game with Golbat.
True.
When Crobat is literally the definitive version of that Pokemon, Final Evolution.
Yep.
But I mean, like, I don't want to let that bring it down. But
Yeah, too low. Yeah.
also another thing, it is Gen 1. Like Gen 1 will always be nostalgic, but it's not the best
It's not the best
game.
Pokemon game.
It doesn't. If we really sit here and ask, it really doesn't have a story. I mean, it's just, it's a Pokemon game. It's the first one. I mean, the do everything, you're catching every Pokemon. I mean, Fire Red did a good job of adding a little bit lore because, Red and Blue didn't do that, but it's, it's a good game, but I think B is where it should be nested at.
Yeah, the caveat of it being a Gen 3 game is that we get abilities and weather, and that's about it. That's about it.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
quite
like,
Gen 4. Not quite Gen 4.
yeah, it's not there yet. I definitely think this was the best generation for it to come out as a Gen 3, Gen 3 remake.
Yep.
I mean, if it came out any later, I guess it would have been fine on DS, but I think Gen 3 was a good take to remake it at.
Yep. I agree. Darian, you have anything to add on that?
No, basically, it's just like the best time for it to come out. There's a small list of things that are better. It's just mainly quality of life things, like you said, with the abilities. a couple different Pokemon you can catch. They learn moves at a slightly different times. So
Oh yeah, Charmander gets Metal Claw in that
yeah,
game.
Metal Claw and
Yeah,
That's kind
that's.
of the only one. It's kind of the only
I mean, it's the only one, but it actually helped
changes the
that
game up a
Pokemon
lot.
survive like that first gym.
Can't really get a water type. Can't really get a grass type either. You can get
Nah.
Mankey. That's about it.
And to be honest, one of the only reason there's another reason that it's like once Fire Red and Leaf Green came out, it added a bunch of cool new Pokemon to the Generation 3 metagame. So there's
Yeah,
that.
which none of us
Yeah.
played. It's,
Yes, I
Nope.
was a wee lad.
we didn't even know
Wee
competitive
lad.
Pokemon was a thing. Darian wasn't
Yeah,
even
Yep.
playing Pokemon back
no,
then.
I'm a late bloomer in Pokemon.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think to make it more wild and chaotic, we're gonna skip to a DS game and just go with Gen 2.
Yeah, we can go
Uh,
in Gen 2 order.
all right. So you already know what I'm gonna say. So
I know what you're gonna say, but I guess let me go first.
yep,
Yep.
Kind of
yep. Soften
my
it up.
bad. So okay, so definitively, I would put this at A, and the reason why I say A, hear me out,
Okay.
is that it is kind of the best remake quality of life game,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
Mhm.
I think also it teeters on A and B, and the reason why I say that is because it's oh man, because I'm gonna get to it in Gen 4's remake,
Yeah.
but it's almost I don't want to say it's almost to the extent mechanic wise, it's too faithful to the
Mhm.
Gen 2.
Yeah.
A lot of the
Because
Gen 2 issues didn't get fixed in this update.
the
Yeah, at
one
all.
issue that this game still has to this day when I played it is that the leveling. You don't the I get what they were trying to do, which was fit a lot of story into the not story, Lord. No, let me not
Like
say
the
story.
like get you the
Um,
post game, right?
get you the post game
Yeah.
and kind of under level all your trainers. But the thing about it doing that is that not many Pokemon give you enough experience to level up, or you can't even train.
You can't.
I literally spent when I was playing my flying type run,
Yep.
I spent like a couple hours trying to go grind somewhere because I was like fucking like 7 levels below Elite Four.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
grinding in
true.
this game is
It's
the worst.
Is
it's
actually.
it's probably like one of the worst games to grind in, but to me, this is the reason why I say it teeters on A and B because I think it still to this day it kind of is the best remake. I mean, does
Mm.
it does add a lot of stuff. Even at end of the post game, like if anything, you can do everything in this game. Like after post, like this is you had so many events. And I guess it's not fair for me to count the events because those are online and those are on choice,
Yeah, we don't
by your
count those. So I'll talk about that with Gen
so
5.
but let me scratch that off. But but it does add a lot,
Yep.
base
Yep.
story wise.
And everybody loved the fact that Pokemon followed you in that game, and then they cried for the
And
next
I'm not
10
Oh, good
and
years.
and
lord.
the thing about it is that I didn't even mention that because the thing about it is that I really don't care.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
here to play Pokemon. The following mechanic will always be fun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
It's a
it was
a necessary part of what makes this game the game, especially on
and
release with the Pokeball Plus.
yes,
yeah, the old Pokewall.
I
Yeah.
I remember definitively when my big brother literally bought this for me, and it was like the full box, the Pokewalker in it, and I was like playing this game nonstop.
This was my first Pokemon
I
game.
s- I still it's just like for me as a Pokemon game, it teeters on. It's also a B. Like
Yep.
Gen 1 and Gen 2 are rough.
Yeah, rough, but
They're
they
rough
got a lot
games.
better with the remake.
But I that's why I said that with it being a Gen 4 remake, I think kind of helped it. And that's why I kind of give it like an A.
Yeah, Gen 4 was definitely the best time to release this game. This is the only Pokemon game growing up that I had to skip out on because nobody bought it for me. I played
Like
at that point I played Fire Red, I played the Gen
Mhm.
3 games. I played
Mhm.
Gen 4, and then I didn't play Soul Silver until very recently, and I didn't play uh, Black and White until I was in high school on a ROM on my
Yeah.
old family computer.
Mhm.
And then from then on out, from Gen 6 onwards, I've been able to buy all the games myself. So
Yeah.
Darian watched my playthrough of Heart Gold Soul Silver. Darian, if you don't remember, I sped ran through that game in probably one
Yeah.
sitting,
Yeah,
something like that.
I remember the video you uploaded on it. Yeah,
Oh no,
it's one of your older videos.
I think I watched you play it as well.
Yeah. Were you there when I? Yeah. And the
Yeah.
one thing that burns into my mind is getting to the Safari Zone and being like, "Sorry, this is post game."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go on
And
my
I
little post game rant real quick. Post
Yeah.
game does not matter for 99% of Pokemon, right? I'd say it. I'd say it comes down to whether or not you enjoy what the post game experience is. For example, X and Y, which we'll get to, has a very interesting post game where it's locked to Looker and like all these little crazy events, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could take that out the game, means nothing. Gen 2, in my opinion, has always been tied to the fact that they did not know what else to do than make a direct sequel to Gen 1. So a lot of the problems I have with Gen 2 is the fact that the caveat is a lot of Gen 1 stuff is sort of tied to it. It's not a fresh generation like Gen 3 was. Which is why Gen
No.
3 ended up becoming
Same
my
evil
favorite.
team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I did-
I definitely agree. I mean, it's definitely Gen 2 is literally like, if anything, if we wanted to lay it out like this, is Gen 2 is literally just like, if they should have called it Fire, they should have called it Red 2.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's literally just kind of a sequel because like if you really think about it, you literally fight Red at the end of
At the end of the post
Heart.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is literally the protagonist of the first game. So it's
Yep.
and oh, sorry, I'm
That's
talking
okay.
a lot and
We're all dying.
and the thing about it is even developers said that they were making this game to be the last Pokemon game.
yeah.
And
Because they
it
weren't
and it
expecting it.
definitely and it definitely shows in the remake regardless. It has that last game energy, like this is the finale, this is what we wanted.
We're done. Woohoo!
We're done
We're
with the
done.
game. It doesn't
I would
it
I would say
it
though, I don't want to cut you off, but the last thing I want to say, what I like the most about the remakes is that it actually puts a bit more of an emphasis on the region itself and the whole like the Kimono girls in the remakes are a little bit better too, right? And then they did something
yeah.
similar in GS Chronicles, which we love a lot more. I'm gonna drop this down to B,
Mhm.
but it's a solid B, just like Gen 1. I'm not gonna, even though it's my least favorite generation, I do like the remakes more than the originals.
No, I 100% agree with
Oh,
you.
for
I
sure.
mean,
Yeah.
that's like I said, I think I say also A was kind of like my nostalgia hitting,
Yeah, I feel you.
but at the same time it's like the game is still a Gen 2 game. You know, let's just say this: Gen 1 and Gen 2 are still probably the jankiest games out there. They really didn't like if we'll get to it, but like Gen 1 and Gen 2 were rough.
Right. All right. So, anything else we want to say about Gen 2 before we move on?
Yeah.
Because I know we passionately enjoy talking about Gen 2.
Yeah.
Go up to the moon. At least it wasn't as jank, dude. What do we just play? Silver and Gold Reforged.
That was fun.
But it was almost as jank as Gen 1, dude. Freaking water, electric resisted water.
That's because
Bug was effective against bug and
we
poison. It
chose
was
the
weird
like
stuff.
the beta setting for
Yeah,
fun.
the beta settings.
It was
weird
wild. It
stuff
was
going on
wild.
in that.
Dark was weak to normal. It was crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So,
mean, that's about it. But
Yeah, you're in the right spot.
it was time for the actual best remake of all time.
Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Okay. So my bias would be S, but I think
Okay.
I'm
A
gonna put it in
or
A.
even B are fine.
I'm gonna go A.
Okay.
What are you gonna go with, Jaquan?
This is hard because I do like this game. I really do.
Yeah.
And Gen 3, I'm a fan of those trumpets.
Oh, for sure. I used to find the trumpets
game is this?
annoying, but they grew on me.
Hold up. Which one is this? Wait,
Omega
sorry,
Ruby
wait.
Alpha Sapphire.
Ruby and Sapphire.
Ruby,
What were their
Sapphire,
starters again?
Emerald,
Torchic,
Torchic,
Trico, and
and
Mudkip.
Mudkip. I've shown you this game a few times back in the day, Mikey.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's appropriate. Yeah, put them up there. Yeah,
This
Yeah, jump it
like I actually played that.
Yeah,
this game, I'll say,
That says
is
a lot.
that it was the man. I want to give it an S.
okay.
Yeah,
Because and let me explain. It kind of did everything that most people didn't like about Gen 1 and Gen 2 and kind of solved the problem. And
Yeah,
I know there's
know
a
what you
lot of
mean.
people that always complain about, oh, it has too much water, and I'm like, I don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
this is
people still to this day don't like home because the last wreck is in water. But honestly,
but it's
yeah, go ahead.
to me, it's probably one of the best games that actually, because this is the first game that ties in the legendary story wise,
yeah.
Yeah.
and you get two amazing teams, Team Magma, Team Aqua, three amazing starters, probably
Probably the best
still
ever. Easily.
probably still busted to this day, are probably
Mhm.
the most busted starters in all of generations. Just like as a trio.
Yeah, as a
Not
trio.
I know there's other Pokemon, but as a trio,
Yeah.
they're probably one of the most busted starters to have. You never really make a wrong choice when you choose one of the three.
Right.
Story wise, it's good. The towns are iconic. Fucking Little Root Town,
Fortree
fucking
City, my boy.
Rustboro, like Fortree City. Come on now.
Evergrande.
Evergrande,
With the
Evergrande,
water, with the
Marvel's
water,
got a giant
with the
mall now.
waterfall, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets me
Yeah.
every time going up that
And-
waterfall.
man, like we did a music tier list before, but like, man, like don't get me started on fucking some.
Well, let
some
me
team,
get started.
some Team Aqua and Maxi and
Yeah.
And
And you haven't even hit on what makes Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire specifically so good. Not only did they actually change most of what's going on in the game and just elevate the original story, but they added megas because we were in Gen 6, the best generation in all of Pokemon. In terms of like everybody was on board for the megas, mega hype train, mechanic wise. Best time for competitive, best time to get into Pokemon was Gen 6. Because everything felt free. You were able to EV train, IV train, go online, play on Showdown. You had all these different megas spanning 2 different games. And Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire looked way better than Pokemon X and Y. X and Y was the basis, just like how Sword and Shield to Scarlet and Violet is massive jump, right? But what makes it better than the jump from Sword and Shield to Scarlet and Violet is that we were still on the 3DS, and it was still small enough scale to where you could really hone in, center on the highlights of the OG like 2D to 2.5D Pokemon experience.
Oh yeah, this is, I'd say this game was pushing the limits.
It really was.
On what it could do. Like, don't fucking get me started. Like, man,
we've been trying to not get you
I know,
started.
get started.
Five
That's
minutes.
the whole point of the video. Get started.
I mean, I love, I I love the Latios and Latios ride.
Oh
Yeah, the ride.
That's such a good mechanic.
I love that. They basically included most of the legendaries in the game,
Mhm.
other than what, Jirachi.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, I think Jirachi's the only one out of the Gen 3 cast that you can't get in the game without like an event. But
right.
The thing about it is that you can get every Pokemon in this game. Like the fucking, what was it? The Pokeradar?
The Pokeradar. Best mechanic to ever exist.
Best mechanic in the game.
It's so good.
Most of my shinies come
abilities and so.
Most of my shinies come from the Pokeradar.
The fact that you can use egg moves during your playthrough, what other Pokemon game does that other than a fan game? Like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire are literally the fan games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like they did add other mechanics down the line, but this was like frame 1. Here's your tutorial. You get a Puccina with 1 of the 3 Fang moves.
Yeah, I had Ice Fang on mine, I believe.
It depends on your starter, whichever starter you picked.
Yeah. It's definitely, I have to give it an S. It's
not to
it's
mention.
Now let's talk about the other Gen the
You want
definitive Game Boy game.
Ooh,
Pokemon Emerald.
this one's hard. This one is hard as well.
Definitely a little better than Ruby Sapphire.
So
You get access to more Pokemon, obviously.
okay. So
Also, quick shout out to Alpha Sapphire for having the best contest in the Delta episode.
Oh yeah, true.
yes. Definitely. I finished the contest. Like I did all contests.
Yeah,
in
I
Alpha.
did contests in that.
Like I'm pretty sure. Like I still have the bayonet with the all like every maxed out stat for for the contest. Like it's maxed out. It has the ribbons and everything. Like I was playing no games.
We need a Pokemon contest spin-off.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
But
I'm still waiting.
To get started on Emerald, it's 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 not better than Alpha Sapphire and
No, it's
Omega
not.
Ruby.
No, sorry.
It's
It
kind
can't
of
be. It can't be.
it's kind of an unfair because this is a remake.
Right.
While this was like basically this was
the OG definitive version.
You know, the best. It was definitely the best version. Gen 3.
It was also the best of the Game Boy games because it was the last one.
Oh yeah. The last one I remember 2005. I asked my mom for the game. You know,
I got it for Christmas. I didn't even know the game existed.
Lucky you. You know, I got straight A's, and you know, I got a baseball game instead of this.
That's crazy.
Oh, was it MVP Baseball 2005?
No. This was this was one of those handheld baseball games.
Was it Backyard Baseball for Game Boy? I've played that.
No, this wasn't even on the Game Boy console.
Oh
it was
my
just
lord! It was like
one of those
like
arcade games you buy in the store.
Yes, what you buy in the store, just like. Probably
like in the toy aisle. It's like in the fucking toy aisle.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, that's what I got because my mom.
The CD-ROM
got told by my pastor, like, you know, apparently the Japanese worship the devil. So that was
good lord!
And I was just like, that's some bullshit, but okay. That's what I was like.
I'll have you know, the Japanese separately worship the devil in media. Okay, separate. Okay, but, and sometimes they put AV models in their tokusatsu shows as villains, but that's a whole separate issue.
Game Freak has
I'm fine with putting Emerald at A. I don't even know if we'd have anything special to say about it. Rayquaza, best legendary ever.
The Battle Frontier.
Battle Frontier, you're right.
No.
Okay, yeah, Battle Frontier, it's D2.
Oh, fuck the Battle Frontier.
Yeah, Battle Frontier. Okay.
Hot take of the video.
But hot take. I mean, Battle Frontier is we're not going to count the post game, but let's talk about it. Because it's also
it is one of the best additions to the game, but it's also one of the worst additions to the game.
It's a great addition. It's very mired by flaws.
If anything, if we were going to be real, you know it's probably why it's an A, because I would put it in S, but Battle Frontier is bad.
Let me see if I still have this.
It's too bad.
In case somebody watches this video and they think, "Oh man, I remember the Battle Frontier. Battle Frontier was this. Battle Frontier was that." Let me see if I have it. I might have deleted it already. I had a run of Pokemon Emerald, and it was a run where I specifically played through to the. I think it's this one. Let me open this real quick.
Go for it.
Excuse me.
You guys probably can't see this, but the people watching definitely will. Oh god, mute that. Okay, hold on. Fast forward. Yep. So, here I'll switch over for you guys real quick.
Cool.
Okay, for anyone that thinks that we're joshing about Battle Frontier, this is my Battle Frontier playthrough of Pokemon Emerald. Now, let me tell you what I had to do in order to do this.
I think you showed me this.
First and foremost, right, I had to catch some Pokemon. I had to catch a viable team of Gen 3 Pokemon, teach them the best possible moves that I could. Ignore this. Okay, I had to make the best possible team that I could, beat the game while also specifically stopping to EV train every individual Pokemon that I caught and put on the team. Then I did all that, beat the game, just to come here. Wait, how do I've only earned 2 symbols. It's boring as fuck. It's boring. It's boring. Okay, Battle Frontier is very boring.
It's not as hype as, you know, I say the one thing, the reason why it was hyped to me is because of the show.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
only reason
100%. The
the
fact
only
that there was
reason why I
more after beating all the gyms.
yeah. Only reason why I played Battle Frontier was because of the anime. You know, Battle Frontier. I was like, oh, okay, I get to fight, guy with Reggie Rock, Reggie Steel, and Reggie Ice. No, it's not fun.
There's a bunch of shit in here, bro.
A little 50 growlers. Now, mind you, the Battle Factory is what most players will experience, especially as a kid, because your Pokemon aren't EV trained, but these are all standardized, right? So this is as far as most people go in terms of the Battle Frontier. You then would have to go and EV train your Pokemon. People didn't EV train their Pokemon like that back then, unless they were playing.
I didn't.
Unless they were playing in actual tournaments, they weren't doing all that crap. It's a waste of. It is a complete waste of time trying to play Battle Frontier as a kid. As an adult, you can do it. Yeah. It's rather boring though. I would not recommend it.
Dude, I didn't learn about EV training until probably
Gen
6.
5.
Gen 5 for me.
Steve can attest. I smashed my Pokemon into trees. I knew about EV training long before.
Yeah, back in Gen 1, you forget about it. Forget about it. Hidden values. Wow. Okay, so Gen 3, right? Anything else we want to say about Emerald? Do we want to knock it down to B because it has Battle Frontier?
The best looking cartridge, that freaking green cartridge.
Dude, the old cartridges were amazing.
Okay, so let's give it an A because it's definitely a lot better than Fire Red and Soul Silver.
Yeah, it is. In terms of what it has to offer and what you get access to for that, it's the best value.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna go to what I think we can all agree is the hardest to rate remake, because we didn't get Dynamax, we didn't get too much in the way of new content, but it was still a better experience than the base Gen 4 games.
Yes. So for me, damn, did I enjoy the game? Yes and no. It's a good remake, but I feel like what Fire Red and Soul Silver did in Alpha,
and especially Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah,
it has to go and see.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It didn't, as a remake, it didn't do anything that the other games did to flush out.
It didn't elevate.
I'm sorry, but buffing the Elite Four is not
the
only thing you should.
Okay, wait. I just hold on. We have to put this in B though. Now, and let me remind you why. Not only did they buff the Elite Four, but they buffed every gym, and they put every major fight. They made sure that it was like a showdown battle. At the very least,
you would have told me.
At the very least, this is the best battling in any game. Period.
Yes.
Okay.
At least.
I mean, I can see that.
Because C would be a little bit too dirty because of that one thing. But everything else, we can put it at least lower than the other two.
Yeah.
And it's definitely going to be the lowest of the four.
It'd probably like a B- in actually.
I guess it definitely, I'd give it, if anything, it was like a B-. It's teetering off C, and the reason why is that for me, I enjoyed playing the game with y'all. But I honestly, it's probably my least favorite game of the remakes. It's just
definitely.
I don't like I said, they didn't add anything other than the battles, which I love the battles. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't feel the same energy that love was put into the game, like Fire Red, Soul Silver, in Alpha Sapphire. Those games were basically redone from the ground up.
Yep.
Especially, like I said, Fire Red have the Sylvie Islands, Heart Gold. Heart Gold and Soul Silver had basically reworked the post game in some way.
And the main and they fleshed out the region story. Gen 4 actually, I don't think did anything new other than the Grand Underground.
Yeah, there was the Grand Underground. There was the new and improved battles, and then that's really honestly.
It was just a very solid Gen 4 experience.
It did add Wonder Trade in post-launch, so good job.
Yeah,
this is Ilka, not Game Freak. This is an Ilka game.
That's why I have to give it a C, because it's just it's a genuine Pokemon Gen 4 game. It took us back to 2007. So Yeah, I don't even have to say anything. That's where that game needs to stay.
Yeah, Pokemon Platinum. Now,
Yeah.
Pokemon Platinum, I think, is the only game I have not beaten, and that's for good reason. Fuck playing Gen 4. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine with leaving it there because I don't think any other. Okay, so with the exception of Black and White 2, which had to change the formula, right? No other third version of a game felt like as different as Platinum did at the time. Like Platinum had different different trainers all together for to some extent. They added in obviously some Pokemon. I don't really care about the distortion world because again I haven't beaten the game, but
Uh,
but like if it's between playing Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, you have to play Platinum. Just like how
Yeah.
if it's Fire Red, Leaf Green, not Fire Red, like if it's Ruby Sapphire Emerald,
Red
you gotta play
Emerald,
Emerald. So I'm fine with us just putting it there, and yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then just moving on to Gen 5
Yeah, that's fine.
because there was more to say
I mean,
about the remake.
I'll just say a quick rundown for Platinum.
Okay.
For people who may not know, Platinum is basically kind of what I wanted to see, in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Right. Most
Um,
people did. That's how it is with
and
every remake.
that's the same with what Emerald did.
Right.
That's what we got in Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. We got it added content.
The
Most of
Delta
everything
episode.
everything in Emerald are literally is in Alpha Sapphire.
Minus the Battle
Other
Frontier.
than like Battle Frontier and certain Pokemon locations. But that's kind of not what we didn't even get that. It's to me it is the best. As we said, it's the best game. One of the caveats that even though we already know that just they did a lot of things that made it a lot better. So um, I'll keep it short, and that's my take on that. So S rank for Platinum.
Yep.
We can move on.
Okay. I was gonna say the only reason why I haven't beaten Platinum, even though I had a copy of Platinum, my DS and games kind of like my games got stolen. I think more so than my DS.
Damn.
So I just
Yeah.
never beat Platinum.
Damn, that must have been me. I must have stole it from you.
Yeah. True. All right. So
My bias is going to show. Fantastic.
So
Well,
Pokemon Black and White.
can I say something real quick? I'm sorry.
Go for it.
I feel like I'm stealing the show. But
No. I mean, dude, come on. You wanted to do this tier list. It's fine.
I did. I remember Pokemon White, and I remember showing it to Darian. This is before Darian got into Pokemon.
Right.
And he had no type of interest in this. Like I showed him a Pokedex, and
I was like, I don't remember asking, but
it's like no, it was at your birthday. We went to see Captain
yeah,
America,
right.
and I was just like, hey, look at this, and you're like, oh, that's cool, like.
Does it play
Like,
sports?
Yeah, right.
Like,
Can your DS run Madden? Like,
Can you
what's going
drive
on?
cars?
But it's crazy. It was literally like after I retired the DS, and I was like, I sold my game and everything, and I was like, okay. And then they announced 3DS Pokemon X and Y, and I was like, shit. Um, and I remember like looking, and Darian was like, yeah, I might get this game. I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
you're
because I don't know if you knew him. Do you remember Dallin? He was on the rugby
Dallin,
team.
yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
He went to my middle school. He lived in my
Yeah.
neighborhood, and
Yeah.
he was the one that showed me Pokemon Black and White and Soul Silver, and that's why I got Soul Silver, and that's how I really got in. So he's the one that showed me.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
Yeah, no,
The man
Dallin and I used to play a lot of Pokemon back in
Yeah,
elementary school.
he was
the man that showed you first.
Shout out to Dallin, bro. Shout out to
He
Dallin.
was
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So that being
alright.
said, Pokemon Black and White are the greatest Pokemon games ever made. Next one.
Yeah, they might as
Yeah.
well be. Yeah. I remember my first time beating it. It was the most stoic experience. I never played the game again after that. We're currently playing the Drayano, but I think we're screwed on that one. Because of the usual DS shenanigans.
Yeah, I would say I'd say it's probably one of the harder Pokemon games.
Yeah, Gen 5 is just harder.
Yeah.
Because I remember like going into this game, as a young kid, and not knowing, this was a reboot. Like
Yeah,
not
they
knowing
had so
any
many
Pokemon.
new Pokemon. Yep.
Like I'm pretty sure it's 150.
It's
Yep,
like
it's-
159. It's like the most ever
59,
introduced
yeah.
into a Pokemon game.
And man, I don't remember my original team, but I know it was fire as fuck.
Oh yeah.
I know I used Superior. That's it. And Salk. I freaking loved Salk.
Yeah, it was like
No,
Samurott,
I
Stalk,
use Samurai,
Excadrill.
Bisharp. I use Haxorus. I know I'd use him.
That's just heat right
I
there.
probably used Swanna
Got a
at some
Darmanitan
point.
legend in there.
Cragnole. I use Cragnole.
Yo, we gotta wait. We gotta do a video where we just present our definitive teams for each region.
Oh, dude, I'm
Ooh,
so
ooh.
down for that.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm down for
we'll
that.
plan that one. We could probably do that one tomorrow since you guys are off.
Yeah,
Sick.
yeah. Well, that should be good.
But yeah,
That's cool.
I think the best thing about Black and White is that it's not Black and White 2. Speaking
Well,
of, I'm starting this one off in A. What do you guys think of
know.
Black and White 2?
That's
Lower.
I
so no. I
mm,
wouldn't put it lower. I don't know. I don't know.
I have a really petty reason for liking Black 1 more than Black and White.
I do. I have a very pity reason for hating any Pokemon game.
My petty reason is the Village Bridge, which is one of, if not my favorite town in all of Pokemon, got neutered in Black and White 2. They added some stupid volleyball and sports courts in the corner with a little restaurant. Took away the but I mean, like, they added the challenge mode. There's like White City and White Forest and Black City.
Yep.
Which I don't even know what
which you
I don't even
can't
know
which
what
you
they
can't
do.
access normally.
I have no idea what
also-
they do.
So I'll explain.
Go for it.
Black City and White Forest are literally a battle tower. That's all they
Okay.
are. Your reward for beating it, because I beat both of them. It was annoying, but is a shiny
Oh, the shiny Gibble and then
and the shiny Gibble.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about shiny Gibble.
Yeah, you had to do it.
the
Had to
shiny
do it.
Gibble and Goodbye look good, but then Garchomp's like
Then Garchomp
Yeah.
is
And then Jaquan cries.
yes. Anytime I play a shiny Garchomp, I'm just like, why do I have this?
Why did
I
I
mean,
do
like,
that?
why, Lord?
Why it wasn't worth it. But you get a shiny Dratini, so a green Dragonite.
The two worst shiny.
Didn't you have to connect to someone with the game to get access to
Yes.
it? Like if you,
Yes.
yeah. Same with the
You have-
Alright,
challenge.
so
and easy mode.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Black and White 2 are the stupidest Pokemon games because they lock so much behind the concept of like DLC before DLC was even a thing. You don't have
Yeah.
to pay for most of this stuff, but you do have to have access to all of it. Meaning you also need to have good internet or you need friends, and I didn't have any of that crap playing this game. My mom just threw this at me one Christmas when I was already not liking her that much. It was an awkward experience for me all around. I do love the game. It's the hardest Pokemon game I've ever played. I never got to we never got to experience all of it. We'll never be able to experience all of it. As opposed to Black and White, where I think you could probably still reasonably go through most of it, but there's like entire areas of the game in Black and White too, like the Keldeo tree right at the beginning of the game, like the Keldeo rock right at the beginning of the game. Can't do anything with that, but it's there and it's gonna mock you the whole time you're in the beginning of the game, and that's how the whole game is. You go through, you do all the great stuff, and then there's more great stuff. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this? There's just this area, and there's nothing here, and it's, what do I do with this?
I think this was just kind of the first game to like really. I mean, like, not saying first game because Gen 4
Gen 4 and Gen 3
did
both
do a
similar
little
things.
bit of DLC. I think like Gen 4 only had one, which was the Arceus. Gen 3
the
had
Arceus one.
Well, I had Darkrai and Cresselia as well.
yeah, that's true.
But Gen
so it
5
had-
has like Meloetta, Victini, like there's a Genesect.
There's a lot.
of stuff.
None of us have used a Genesect before.
I use it on Showdown.
Oh,
What you mean?
That's a lie. I have.
Oh, you
I
got the download for Genesect?
Yeah, I did have the red
You are
one.
privileged.
I'm not privileged. I'm
Okay.
not
Get
privileged.
a load of this guy.
I literally just walked to GameStop and just got it. That's all.
Okay, you guys know where I used to live, right?
Yes,
Cambridge County.
I know.
Where was I walking to, my guy?
I know.
Where was I going?
You walk up to the food line, try and get one pawned off. I don't know.
I go to food line. Does anyone have a Genesect code?
Hey, bro, get your ass.
Sir, we serve produce. We sell produce.
I don't know about that, but bananas are on sale if you want to go grab some.
So
We
yeah,
almost moved into Cambridge Crossings, by the way. but we moved
it really
elsewhere.
sucks that
It's a big ass neighborhood.
you know, Black and White 2 are amazing games, and it shouldn't be held against it that it had this much DLC. I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh, but Sword and Shield, yeah, purchasable DLC, and even if you didn't have it, you can still get access to the most important part, which was if someone traded you the Pokemon, you could use them. You can still bring over your Pokemon that are accessible. They did not necessarily cut any real content from the base game.
Yeah.
But Black and White 2 does, and that sucks. So it belongs out of S tier, despite the fact it's probably the best Pokemon game.
Put it in C.
Put it in C. All right. You guys are gonna have to.
Oh my babies!
You guys are gonna have to let me have this one.
Go for it, my guy.
Wait, no, that's the wrong button. You guys are gonna have to let me have this one.
The goat tier.
Okay. Hold on.
Let me see what you got. What you got?
There it is.
Let's talk about the goats, Galar. Now,
I must stop you.
You must stop it. Oh God, please.
What's up, Mikey?
Let's say shoot.
Put
I
it
mean, like,
higher.
I know what you're gonna say, and yes. That's all we have to say.
There are so many reasons why these games matter. People hated everything from X and Y onwards. Everyone hated day one because it wasn't Black and White. But despite the fact I just explained why Black and White 2 are overrated. Fairy types not only rebalance the game, but also let Game Freak create new Pokemon and didn't have to force them to be normal type like Spinda or what was the Whisper Exploud, right? Like they didn't just have to create base level Pokemon. They can now create a whole new genre of Pokemon, relabel a lot of normal types into normal fairy or fairy types, and then competitive was just amazing, right? Mega Evolution was the best thing that they have ever come up with to the point where they don't want anything else anymore. The audience just wants Megas every generation now. That's the son of a good game. People hated on this game when it first came out. People said Diantha's the worst champion. I disagree. I think Diantha's great. I think that she's followed up though by the best base Elite Four that we had in a long time. Gen 5's Elite Four is great, but Gen 6's Elite Four are so cool, so memorable.
They're very varied, yeah. But
like Dragon type might be there, but we also have fire and water. How often do we get
steel.
fire and water? And in steel.
Fire, water, and steel, yeah.
And it was a great generation for those types
and the
as
characters
well.
themselves, not only the types were good, but the characters.
I'm gonna repeat myself because apparently everyone missed it. Put it higher.
No, we heard you.
We can't put it higher. It's going in S.
Impossible.
It's going...
Yeah, but it's definitely it was the definitive game for bringing everything in. You know, like.
Oh yeah, true.
I'm about to say, shoot. I remember Darian. Like I remember the day.
Even
Darian
if I didn't play it, Fairy type was such a unique element because it fixed a lot of the problems with balance, and it created one of my favorite Pokemon, Sylveon.
Oh yeah, Sylveon's dope.
Yeah, that's
well, you know, Poison.
This generation is the reason why Gardevoir is my favorite Pokemon.
It nerfed the shit out of dragons. Thank God.
Yeah,
like
thank God.
Giving dragons a weakness like this.
Dragon had like.
Not only are they weak, but they're immune to them too. So
yeah.
So
the dragons couldn't just pile drive.
With the right element, a dragon type Pokemon could be out and out immune to something.
Yeah, true. Like electric, fire, water, grass, like damn near every type. Like Dragonite's immune to ground.
I don't remember what type it was, but there's one type that gave it resistance to 4 elements, making it a fantastic
water
tank.
Dragon.
Yeah, water dragon.
Water dragon.
Water dragon is probably the best typing for a dragon to have. It's busted because
what water dragons do we have?
Kingdra
and Palkia. Kingdra and Palkia.
Palkia's this.
And Tatsugiri.
Tatsugiri.
Yeah, Tatsugiri, true.
Tatsugiri.
But yeah, it's probably the strongest dragon typing.
The only other type that was really good was Ghost Dragon because it was out and out immune to an element, and then also had some good out resistance.
That's okay.
Now, ever since Dragapult came out, it just ruined it.
Dragapult ruined Ghost Dragon.
Just ruined it all.
It also ruins singles.
Guaranteeing it should have just remained the only.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let that be a legendary type. Don't add it.
Where's our bug dragon type game for you? Make it happen.
Okay, so X and Y also has some of my favorite gym leader designs as well.
And the Kalos region is up there with Unova for one of my favorites. Dude,
Kalos
what's her name?
So memorable.
What's the name of the psychic gym leader? She looks like a champion. She's got that coat with the stars underneath it. Dude.
Yeah.
I forgot her name, but she looks like
I think it's like Olympia.
Olympia. Dude, her gym and her design is just she looks like a champion, like a Pokemon League champion. Her design, it's insane.
And she was a hard fight too, even in the
Yeah.
anime. Oh, and then the anime just makes the game.
And of
even
course,
better
we had,
in
and
retrospect.
even though these games came out 10 years ago this year, it's still the best online experience we probably had in a Pokemon game with the
Oh yeah, true.
with the what was it called, the PSS, the
Yes,
player
Yeah.
search system.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna run through the gym leaders real quick. I know we didn't do this for other games,
Viola, Grant.
but yeah, Viola, amazing.
Good
Grant's
gym leader.
great. Obviously, Karina's a really big part of both the games
The
and the
anime.
anime.
Yeah.
My boy Ramos,
Ramos.
who's probably top 10 favorite gym leaders for me. Clement, who's obviously from the anime, just like Silent and Brock were.
There's Valerie.
Here we have Valerie, the first fairy type gym leader, the freakiest gym leader
Yeah,
we've
the
ever
dollhouse
seen.
gym. Dude, this gym
Yeah.
is so sick. Look at the place.
Yeah, Olympia. Then we had
And Wolfric.
Wolfric. And
Yeah.
Wolfric, I think, is the craziest ending to a gym leader since Giovanni, because it's like you have like these expectations going in, and then Wolfric he's just a humble guy doing his
He's
thing,
just a dude.
looking after
sitting
a
in his gym.
forest, looking after Mewtwo, all that crap. It's crazy. It's a great game. Team Flare is probably one of the most interesting teams that we
I don't like
had. Because like their aesthetic was so different from
They're
villainy.
very different.
It wasn't really like villainy. They were just bougie. You know, they're like
And
they're like
Lysander,
top
they're
class.
leaders, really. I like Lysander.
Lysander's crazy. Lysander can go up there with what's his name, Cyrus. It's like the most insane guy you'll ever meet.
Or Getsus. Well, Getsus threw hands on.
Getsus is
He tries
is
to
a
kill
Twitter.
children.
Okay, Getsus uses Twitter. It's fine. We don't have to worry about Getsus.
Oh, ratio looking ass.
Oh my lord. Yeah, like everything about X and Y, more so than the actual like revisionist games like Black and White. I think X and Y was a much better reboot because it added a new type. It started the trend of new mechanics, and it didn't have to exclude, because obviously we got like the Mega Charizard, Mega Blastoise, Mega Venusaur. We were able to pull together all the old, make it new again, and also add so much more to the series overall with the fairy type. So yeah,
I agree. It also gave poison types a little more love because
the moves, true.
never had
moves.
anything to attack other than like grass types.
Grass and
Didn't they buff Leech Life in Gen 6 too?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was Gen 7.
Gen 7.
Gen
That's
7?
Gen 7.
Right.
But I know
like
Gen 6 was
Gen
above
6 and 7 were
default.
when we really
Yeah.
started noticing
It
changes.
bumped from 20 to 80 or something. It's like 80
Yeah,
power
it was-
now.
Yeah, it's Leaf Life slaps.
They
now.
just completely changed the game with that one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the best of the 3DS era.
All right, now
With
these
Sun and
games to
Moon
me
and
are
Ultra
very
Sun and Moon.
weird because Ultra Sun and Moon are definitively better than Sun and Moon.
Right.
But I think Ultra Sun and Moon, minus the Rainbow Rocket story at the end, which is great, I think the story in this game is a lot worse than the original because it is very unique. Because Ultra Sun and Moon, if I'm not
the
mistaken,
original
to this
definitely feels a lot
day,
better.
is the only Pokemon game where the main villain is a Pokemon itself in Necrozma.
Right.
Who's a really, at the first game we had Lucamine going crazy in Ultra Space. I like that a lot more than her being the good mom kind of thing in this game. But the Necrozma is actually really cool. I do, except for that fight. I had to bring over my level 100 Rayquaza from X and Y to beat that stupid thing. Ultra Necrozma slaps. But I mean, we got a good set of starters. For some reason, Pokemon had a fetish this year, this game, where every Pokemon's like under base 50 speed, except for like Tapu
they wanted this generation to change up the power scaling by making everything stat wise, not the normal meta. So they made a lot of Pokemon just trash.
Yeah, those slower Pokemon, but we had the Ultra Beasts like Naganadel and that's an Ultra Sun they brought over. Blacephalon, those came later. But
Kartana.
You have a good set of starters, a unique island the unique region with the split islands,
the trials
and the Guardians,
as well.
the trials, no gyms. We got trials. Some of the trials are cool.
We got gyms at home.
Yeah, gyms at home. Good Evil Team, very underrated.
Oh my god, the totem battles were the hardest thing in all of Pokemon.
Yeah. For me, what was it for me? It was
You can't
probably,
nuzlocke. You cannot nuzlocke these games without taking
It
L's.
might have been Totem Wishy Washy that gave me a lot of trouble the
Oh no,
most.
it was Totem.
The
what's
steel, the not steel, the electric type one, Vikavolt,
Oh,
with the
Vikavolt,
charger
yeah.
bug. That one
Actually, the
will end your
Mimikyu wrecked me too.
Mimikyu
The
can wreck
Totem
you.
Mimikyu
Yeah,
slapped me too.
if you don't come at it at the right angle, you're gonna get screwed by that one too.
Lamantis had me.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, yeah,
the
Lorax.
Solar Blades.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one
No,
actually hurt too.
That had me peed.
Yeah. All right, so let's hold on. I'm gonna do this real quick. Let me just start dragging everything down.
Yeah.
And okay, hold on. All right, so out of these 5, which ones are we dragging down?
Probably the Gen 7, I'd say.
Gen 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let's try like this for now,
Okay.
and then we'll see. Because I feel like at least one of these games deserves to be us.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ultra's Sun and Moon adds so much new things,
It does, but I don't think it.
and they also.
But I
like to
think
say
it
how
loses
Sun
a
and
lot
Moon-
of. I think it loses a lot of
Yeah.
people though with the story.
Yeah, and they also talk about how Sun and Moon are like the most tutorial-ridden games.
Oh, you're
How
right.
it takes so
Yeah.
long to
Yeah.
start.
You know what? You got.
But Ultra
you go.
cuts down on that a
Okay,
lot.
yeah.
So
They'll both be an A then, because I think
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think you just evened it out. All right, Sword and Shield. I'm gonna start with B. Because
I very much
I
love
feel
Sword and Shield.
like we all love this game, but I feel like we don't.
But let's be real.
Yeah.
Dog Pokemon.
The Pokemon battles as a spectacle. I love the stadium atmosphere.
So, oh my god, the
Um,
best gym theme. Actually, Scarlet
the
and
gym
Violet kind
themes
of
are
up
great.
it a little bit. It
Yeah.
feels like a parallel where it's like in Tokusatsu you have like a whole new era that starts and then you have like these trends. I feel like the trends that came with these last two gens is that sort of parallel with the OSTs. The OSTs are just banger both generations. I like how the Scarlet Violet gym theme plays off the Sword and Shield one just enough and then brings
Yeah.
in its own new flair.
Like the crowd noise.
Yeah, the
and stuff
crowd
like that.
cheering in and the climax sensation that comes from every gym battle.
I think they're making it more kind of like what we enjoy.
I like it because the
about
legendaries
Pokemon
are
battles.
dogs.
They're just
Got the
I
dog
mean,
in them.
In Eternatus, bro.
we
Eternatus
love
is so
we love
legendary.
the hyping up of Pokemon
I
battles.
think my only problem
yeah,
with the game is
definitely.
that don't you like get the dogs like ASAP or something?
No, you're
No,
thinking of the
you
new game.
encounter them early, but
You're
you don't
taking the
get them till
Scarlet and
later.
Violet,
Yeah.
but they're not even like Pokemon. They're just rideables. Okay, so the good. This is where we finally got gym leaders as people. Just definitively, every gym leader had their own little card. You got a little bit of their backstory. You were able to really understand them as people. They had some relationships with each other. They weren't all just complete one-off strangers. Like, say, for example, in Gen 1, gym leaders don't really know each other. They don't talk about each other for the most part. There might be some parallels between them and the Elite Four. But in this game, every character felt connected. All the events, as small scale as they felt, were easy to follow. They were fun to follow. There was a lot going on with... hold on, am I thinking the right game now? I am. Okay, Bead... wait, if I think, dude, okay, I'm having Generation Whiplash right now. I feel like
What are
I'm
you
talking about a
thinking
game that came out way later or way earlier.
What are you trying to refer to?
Hold on, I'm just having Generation Whiplash right now. I feel like these games just came out yesterday.
You're thinking of, just let us know.
All right, so we got
Milo,
Nessa.
Nessa.
I'm just going through the characters. Kabu. B.
Oh yeah, Alistair.
B or Alistair. That's right. So this
Yeah.
game, so this game also had Generation exclusive gym leaders. We got really hyped up, thinking there was like a gym for every type. Not necessarily. We did kind of get that in the end. Then we had my favorite gym leader of all time, Opal, and Beat is in this game. Yes, Beat is in this game.
Beat is the Opal successor. Yes.
Now, personally,
It starts with psychic, and then
I made a video about
this
this a long time ago. It's so cool that the fairy type gym leader wants a successor, and me being a fairy type trainer, I get to see that in game. That's really fun for me. I just love everything about the characters in this game. They could have brought it up so much more. Oh, we got freaking Piers in this game. Now, they didn't play any music for some reason when we saw him, even though I did Engine 5. I know that this game has a lot of things that people just hate, but I think we could leave it at B for the sake of the fact that just like with X and Y, a lot of people are probably going to go back to these games and see the real like what really is the appeal of the games. Dynamax does kind of ruin a little bit of the battle flow because of just how strong the Pokemon get stat wise. And in order to really get the most out of this game, there are times where you just don't use it just for the challenge. But overall, wonderful games. They bring a lot to the table. We got a lot of new changes to egg moves and teaching Pokemon egg moves. They changed a lot of stuff for battle. This is when they finally started doing live service Pokemon, and they had different seasons, different events, and they're constantly doing that now. I'm not a big fan of that, but that's still a massive, massive thing. That changed for the better in the Pokemon franchise because most games nowadays are live service, and what's better than having access to a Pokemon game and beating it, having more to do later on, and obviously DLCs are a big part of that as well.
Indeed.
All right.
Indeed.
You guys have anything else
and
on Gen 8? Big one?
So I do want to say,
Yep.
most people might feel different, but I'm glad that they chose to do the less Pokemon in the game. Like you don't have access to every Pokemon in the game
Right.
because
Oh yeah, the decks.
even though
We didn't even talk about
every time, even though people are talking about, well, I want to see that Pokemon. Are you going to use that Pokemon?
No.
Come on now. It's like,
unless it's
yes,
your
I'm
favorite, you're
sad.
not using it.
Like, of course, I'm sad that Empoleon's not in the game, but I'm like, I can use any other Pokemon. It's fine. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not like I'm not going to see the Pokemon in forever. But the thing about it is that the dex cut is fine. I don't believe every Pokemon should appear in a certain region.
Yeah,
Like
it's just not.
it literally doesn't make any sense. If you really think about it, is that not every Pokemon should exist in the same region if you really, really think about it. Just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like if there's a Zubat in the cave, I'm not expecting to see a Swoobat, you know? I'm
Yeah.
just saying, but
Yeah, I
not
think
in every
Gen
cave.
5 definitely made it feel that way as well. Gens 3 and 5 definitely set that precedent. Gen 7 set that precedent. And also the fact that even in Gen 7, Gen 6, and 5, like you didn't have access to every Pokemon in every game. That's never been the case because of the regional decks versus the national decks. What
Yes.
people get mad about is that the national decks isn't expand to all Pokemon, but you've beaten the game. There's nothing else for you to do. You mostly just want those Pokemon just so that you can put them all together in the game. And then you're not going to play the game. You're not going to do anything. There's nothing to do with
Yeah.
all 800, 900 Pokemon. It's not.
900 at this point.
You're gonna
yeah.
EV train all of them for competitive? No.
And now we're at 1,000. What do we think
Well,
about
real
Scarlet
quick,
and okay?
First off,
Hold on.
shout out. We didn't even bring it up when we talked about it. Speaking of different Pokemon in different regions,
Uh-huh.
shout out to Gen 7 and 8. Gen 7, we had our
The
first
regional
introduction of
variant.
Alolan forms.
Yeah, the regional
And then
variants.
8 has Gallic. Now, okay. Let's get the big stuff out of the way. Yes, we know Scarlet and Violet aren't the most appealing to look at games. Yes, we know it fucking runs like Stephen Hawking sometimes. Nevertheless, we have the best story we had since Gen 5. We have one of the strongest Pokemon rosters that we've ever seen.
True. They put all the pseudos. They put a lot of power into these games.
The region is expansive. There's a lot of cool secrets hidden around.
Really
Nice.
big.
We have our introduction of our paradox forms, our ancient.
Wait, is this the game with the bikes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Our ancient and past, future forms. Like I said, I already touched on story Pokemon, and I said, yeah, it has its problems. Just like how people said Sword and Shield are ugly. These games aren't.
People are
really...
gonna say that about any game.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's any game.
the game
I
is
don't
not
dislike
pretty,
this
but
game.
I think
I just have one opinion.
Yeah, what's your opinion?
A lot of characters look boring.
I honestly, I agree with you.
Yeah, I see.
Like,
I see. What
Yeah.
There's certain characters that I just don't find that interesting in this game, but
yeah,
I'll
they
say one
definitely
thing
had.
is-
They definitely had the most rooted designs. in
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah, like
uh,
a
I
lot of
completely-
characters just look boring in that game. That's
But-
it.
but
I'm clicking and I'm not getting to where I want to go.
the
All
one
right, there we
thing
go.
I wanted to say is that the complaints about the game not looking good. I mean,
It's
I
subjective.
talked
an
to
extent.
Keith about this before, but this is literally probably one of the, if anything, I'm not gonna say it is the last, but most likely second to last Pokemon game on Switch.
Oh,
If you think
true.
about it,
Yeah, true.
because this is their pattern when they make games, is that they usually make up to about like three games on a
It's
console,
usually main game remake and then like either side game or another main game.
and
And then
usually the last games push the console to its limits. I
Right.
mean, like,
And we
let's
do have some evidence that these games push a little bit because it looks a little bit better in certain circumstances, but the Switch is also known to have not outdated, but like very low end hardware in it. And what is to be expected is that next we're gonna get obviously another new console, and that's gonna push Pokemon onto a new console.
yeah.
And then we'll probably see a game similar to Scarlet and Violet, but it's just performing perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Continue.
it's definitely I've always seen this pattern, like literally, like I always say it with this Emerald pushed the Game Boy to its limits. It's a good looking game. Platinum pushed the game to the limits with the distortion world. Like, you never thought you could see those things, but then they're like, oh, let's play Black and White too.
Then you roll up to Castalia
And
City and
then
you're like, "Dang."
and you have moving sprites on the screen. That's a lot.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
lot.
uh, and then you have Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Those games
Those games break the
sometimes
DS. Full out.
those games, especially when you go into a double battle,
Yeah, double or triple, forget about it,
break
dude.
the game.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear people saying like, "Hey, this game is janky." Of course it is. I mean, like, it's
Pokemon's never been the
Pokemon.
best game
Pokemon has not been on a powerful console in
ever.
years. Years. Like, probably the most powerful console game, the game has been on
A
is
Wii.
Game Boy.
Oh,
The Game
I
Boy
was
or
gonna
the
say the Wii.
I'm talking about the main line.
Yeah,
Like
not
that
the
actually
shovelware.
played like without some type of jank.
Yep.
Game Boy. It's not, you can't expect the games to run like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild uses a different engine.
That game
Pokemon is
still has its
different.
problems. If you blow up a moblin with a bomb, your game will go to like 2 frames.
So it's like, to me it's like you can't expect the Switch to play like, have you seen Mortal Kombat on the
Dude,
Switch?
when they said that freaking MLB The Show was coming, no, they said Hogwarts Legacy's coming to the Switch later this year. I can't wait to see what that game runs like on
That's
the
gonna be
freaking
dang.
Switch. Because The
Don't
Witcher 3 looks terrible. We
to
have
me if you buy a game on the Switch, do not expect the game to look good on
yeah,
the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's not.
that's why I was like peeved when people were talking about, oh, the trees look so weird in Sword and Shield. I'm like, it, this is a
Tree.
Pokemon game.
It's a.
What?
Yeah.
As long as I
This is
know
a
it's a tree,
handheld game.
as long as I know it's a tree,
Oh
why
my
do I
god!
care?
Look at all these hair colors.
Yeah,
And
like
a thing that I
Pokemon
just
games
kind of
like to
just
push
thought
the
of,
limits of sanity, and then like, what do you
all these
expect?
phone cases too.
Yeah, fuck
Another
it.
thing I just thought of that I don't really hear anything say about is a thing that I find interesting about it. It's because Jacone, you brought up like testing the limits. We
Yeah.
saw Sword and Shield. Now we have Scarlet and Violet, which is an open world game. And now they see they have sort of a limit on Scarlet and Violet, and they kind of stepped over it. They can use this as a learning experience and maybe dial back and for some kind, and then make a game
There's
that's
so many.
suiting everyone's needs. Yeah, there's a lot.
I mean,
Wait,
like,
that wasn't even close to the bottom, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I
dude.
mean, yeah.
Good lord.
It wasn't even close to the bottom. I was just getting started.
They didn't give us much because it's a school uniform, but everything else
They
around
they
it, they said
they
we
put
got you.
they put all the
They
effort.
said we got you.
We have so.
Yeah.
I think what I need to say is that the things that people take for granted in the last two Pokemon games is just how many features are just there. You don't have to worry about them. You have to do anything with them. Like raid battles, for example, don't have to play them. They're doing a lot of bug fixes. I'm going to push that we do some kind of playthrough on the channel, with the new patch, because the game's probably going to be like 10
Yeah,
times
they said they're
like 10
fixing
times
all the
better.
raid issues with the HPs and HP and whatnot.
Most of the reasons why I personally stopped playing is because I specifically have a phobia of open world. I've never enjoyed playing open world games for too long. There's like, especially with Pokemon games, the older Pokemon games all being in this nice, neat little bow, really keeps me from getting anxious about it. But when you have so many options, you can do so much. You don't need all that power. let's be honest, in a video game, you don't need all that power to go anywhere, do anything all the time. It's more fun for me personally. I'm more of a story type guy. I like to go through and have an adventure and have my own narratives and play Pokemon like it's a Pokemon game.
Right.
But a lot of us now, we're older. The genre and everything is expanded. There are things that we ask for, and this is them giving us what we asked for. The fact that people aren't happy with what they got is up to them. But just there's so many different things that they added to these past few generations. My favorite thing is the sandwiches. The fact that you can shiny hunt with your friends. We did so much of that.
Mhm.
I still have a video that I'm gonna upload to the channel the last time we were shiny hunting. There's just so much that you can do with Pokemon. I do hope that they continue to iron out some stuff and make it look the best that it possibly can. So that I will continue to play through it. You can do all these cool little cuts in the game. They might patch that out as well. I'm not sure, but that like the actual ability to explore Pokemon is something we've asked for so long, and there's like we played this game for hours straight. Like we didn't have any major issues when we first started our playthroughs. We had some normal internet issues because it's a game. Internet issues are to be expected, but when I think of the definitive Pokemon experience, that is what Scarlet and Violet is now for me. The ability to go out, adventure, catch, like even guys, the fact that Ditto and Zorua have actual open world mechanics. Like it's like there's so much in this game that we can definitely come to appreciate with time and bug fixes and whatever. And hopefully the next gen console for Nintendo will be a real console. Nintendo has never had the best in consoles and probably ever, if not early on in Nintendo's console releasing. If Pokemon truly was able to just be on a machine to where they don't have to worry about their own limitations as a company, let alone the limitations of the software. I know people point at like Breath of the Wilds and stuff like that, but like it, at the end of the day, Pokemon is Pokemon. Pokemon's never been. You guys have already harped on it enough. Pokemon has never been a game that was designed to be this big spectacle. It was always about the little things, the Pokemon themselves, the battle mechanics, the experience, all that. It's a personal adventure game at the end of the day. It's not a linear story where you're saving the world. That kind of stuff, most of the time, if not always, comes on the sideline, and we don't even really get that until the very last minutes of this game, which I really... Oh, dude, we didn't even talk about fucking Professor Sada and Toro.
Yeah, the ending. Yeah,
The ending to these stories are mind-blowingly crazy.
Oof, their music too.
Music too, yeah.
Man.
And what's her name? Fucking Penny. The Team Star final theme. Team Star slaps.
Team Star theme slaps.
It does
Okay.
slap, but I don't know. Like
If
if
anything,
the final battle theme just slaps a little harder.
I honestly think
it
my
does.
favorite theme is just Area Zero as a whole, with like the choir in the background. It's all mysterious. It's very.
Dude,
It was creepy.
Area
when I first heard
Zero
it.
made me not want to finish playing the game. It's that creepy. Again, like I do have my own phobias when it comes to like 3D and open world, but like, oh my goodness, was I freaked out playing through the last couple hours of the game.
Yeah, it was
We
freaky.
also didn't mention the fact that they expanded the story mode. You don't really get to look at your
Wait,
gym
hold up.
badges in this game at all because it's all supposed to be one connected thing where it's like you can go out and do whatever you want. They don't try and force you into anything. You can do it linearly. You can kind of do them separately. You don't have to do everything in order, and they even like give you little stamps in like whichever order that you beat the game. There's so much room for challenge runs where you just go and try and beat the hardest stuff first, or like you can even like complete just one part of the game and then be like, well, this was the run that I want to do. I'm gonna move on to the next run, and I'll only do this part of the game.
Yeah.
The fact that they gave you 3 different stories means everybody can connect to something in the game. If you just want that base Pokemon experience, you can connect to that base Pokemon experience. Nemona might actually not Nemona. What's the champion's name?
Oh, Gita or
Oh,
whatever it
Jeter,
is?
yeah, Jeter or something like that.
Cheetah.
The worst
She might
champion ever
actually be
made?
the worst champion, but
She's terrible.
but I think that's just a byproduct of how these games
Yeah.
work. Um, the fact that the story elements don't overlap, you just do it all in whatever order you need to. My personal favorite was Team Star. You guys, what was your favorite
Mine
of the
was
three?
actually the Titan one with his
With the
dog.
dog. Yep, a lot of
Yeah,
people
that
love
was
that.
good.
Jaquan, which of the three storylines was your favorite? Oh well, the Titan one does actually it is actually like the true ending with the professor and everything
Yeah.
too. That definitely counts.
Honestly, probably the Titans.
Right, the
Yeah, it was
With
Titans.
just it was really good.
what's his name? And his
Arvin?
dog?
Arvin, yeah.
Arvin and
Arvin,
what's
his
his name?
dog. Fight of the Titans was pretty cool too.
Yeah, I got washed by that
Dude.
ancient tusk.
Yeah, me too. Freaking iron shreds rolled up. I'm like, why am I getting one shot by rapid spin? What's going on here?
I was like, I'm a grass type. Why am I getting the hands thrown at me?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. So we talked about why we we talked about the end game. But what specifically? What was your favorite part? And you can just say it's the dog again. What was it Mabo? What's that Pokemon's name? Mabo Boss?
I don't know.
No,
My
uh,
Mabastiff.
my ball's stiff. That's right. My ball's stiff.
Mabastiff.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
Wait, what are we talking
I like did I really have a favorite? There was a couple moments here and there. Or Orthworm's fight was real fun. I love Orthworm.
Oh yeah,
He's a big
Orthworm is
old goof.
hilarious.
I enjoyed we got shout my boy Larry from gym leader to
Oh,
Elite
you're
Four
right.
member.
You're right.
He's
They
really
had
cool.
such a cool
One of the
Elite
Elite
Four
Four
this time
members is
around.
literally a child.
It's a
So that's
really
fun.
unique Elite
We
Four.
have and as boring as they were sometimes, going to school was
Oh,
also a very good experience. The classes actually taught you important things for once. These were actually useful tutorials. They taught you about type matchups.
Right.
I got fooled with you have $2,000. How many Pokeballs can you buy? Oh, well, you get a Premier Ball. It's 11.
Yo, and
Shut up.
you and Rachel
Uh,
fucking failed your test so bad.
I
too.
failed. I think I failed like a couple tests.
We all
But, yeah,
failed the math test by the
Yeah,
end.
the math test was annoying. But I mean, the teachers all have their little side stories and personalities, which are always fun to explore. Especially what's her name? What's my girl's name? The battle girl. God, I forgot. Simped her
Nimona.
hard.
Nimona.
No, the
talking
battle
about the gym
instructor, the
leader.
teacher
Oh, your wife,
with
bro.
with the
gym
tracksuit.
teacher.
Like actually your
simped
wife.
hard. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find her. Reaching
Oh yeah,
characters.
give me Ghoul coin. Oh, give me Ghoul. Golden
Yeah,
Go
shut up.
ruins competitive, but whatever. Where would it be? Academy classes.
Academy
Would it be
classes.
that?
Here we go. Oh, bro.
Oh yeah,
Yo.
he was cool too.
Okay, so the Salvatore.
Dendra, there she is.
Dendra.
Dendra.
So you had
That's
Salvatore, the dude with the terrible haircut.
The
Yo, they got all the
haircut.
answers. Oh my lord.
Yeah, he's from Kalos.
So yeah,
surely.
the Kalos guy, which a lot of people are thinking we're getting some connection.
We have to get
Gen
Kalos.
6.
We're bordering France. It's gotta happen.
Miriam the nurse, who's
She was
Dendra's
gonna
friend.
be she wanted to be the health teacher,
Right.
I believe, and then she got made the nurse. And then
Oh
she eventually passed.
she's working on being a teacher. That's right.
And she passed.
Ryfort with history. She was.
Ryfort?
Oh
yeah, she was the one that she showed us on the
She was
Pokemon
one with the
Heaven
she was the baddie with the
history
glasses.
teacher.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she has the ruin.
The ruin.
Saguaro, who is this guy right here with home ec.
Yeah.
Time, who is one of the gym leader's sisters.
Rhyme.
Hassel the best. Love Hassel.
Hassel, best Elite Four, and then Dendra.
And then Dendra, my beloved.
So many good characters in this. So many fun moments. We forgot about the headmaster as well. I mean, we're just gushing.
Oh
on this
yeah.
game,
God. With the
Clive.
disguise.
Disguised as Clive. Yeah, I think his name wasn't
Clavel.
It was like
Clavel.
Yeah.
Is it Clavel? Yeah.
Like the characters in this
else?
game have unique moments. Like for example, like Saguaro didn't want to look bad in front of his students, so he ordered food even though he couldn't really handle like spicy food or something like that. Like there's so many little moments that if you're not paying attention, you're not gonna get the most out of the game. And the characters, I know we laughed at Salvatore almost the whole time because he had that whack haircut. But they even had their even they had like their own unique types. So yeah, overall, amazing game. I think we can all agree at least S tier. because we don't care too much about the graphics, right?
And we also got introduced to terrestrialization. How do you guys like the gimmick? You guys like terrestrialization?
Probably it's right below Mega Evolution.
Yeah,
I-
yeah. It's
But I think
the
it's better
best.
than
It's the
Dynamax.
best out of the 3 that we gotten in the past 3 gens.
Yeah.
And then Megas will always be the best. Yeah, because Terra types have so much potential. I feel like I'm definitely just out of the whole competitive Pokemon thing. I have a new standard for competitive battling, in League of Legends. I think that League of Legends just tops for me. I don't really like the way that competitive Pokemon works on the Switch. They'll never give us 6v6, which is what I love the most. And 3v3s,
Yeah.
as much as I like a challenge, I don't care about the tier list. I don't like Dragapult. I don't like doubles. Doubles is
Yeah.
not Pokemon
Gold
to
and
me.
Go's boring.
I
Yeah, that's
hate
where the
double-
Tatsugiri
I-
Dondozo bugs getting
That's
fixed.
that's
too.
probably the reason
All
why I
that.
hate competitive is that it's just like doubles should not be the standard. Like
Doubles shouldn't be
literally
the standard.
standard should be 6v. You know, like 6v.
6v6, yeah. And if
Yeah.
people want to stall, they're gonna stall. They do it on
Yeah.
Showdown.
They'll
It's
use
not.
Toxic Packs, they'll use all that stuff.
There's no problem with that. It's a play style, you know. As long as your Pokemon aren't like fully defensive moves, just trying to run a timer, like then what's the problem?
It just I get
They
what
could
they're
easily
doing.
they could easily get rid of that stuff too. They just didn't try. So I think we can end this one off by going to the individual tiers and stacking them from first to last.
Okay.
So obviously we got BDSP in last, not because we think it's a bad game, but
It's
only
not a D tier game, it's just
only
Like,
because
none of these rankings basically make it a bad game. We
Right.
just
Yeah.
think
yeah,
that
there's no such
out
thing
of-
as a bad
out of
Pokemon
the
game.
series,
There's
out
never
of
been
the
a bad
series,
Pokemon
well,
game.
not in the main series.
Yeah, not in the main series.
Because you got like Hey You Pikachu and like Pokemon Channel.
And,
Speaking of random,
and
where's
Mystery
Pokemon
Dungeon.
Sleep at? What's going on with Pokemon Sleep?
Pokemon Sleep is out there. It exists. I don't know if it's in the App Store or not, but I think they've released it by now.
I don't
Or-
know. I just see
or
Joe
something
from
like
Saturday.
that.
I'll constantly ask him questions about it.
All right,
like,
so I think we're good with Heart Gold, Soul Silver. If I were at Leaf Green,
Yes.
has to. Let's see. Okay, so Sword and Shield. Are we fine with Sword and Shield being the bottom of B?
Yeah, I'd say so.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so do we want good game without 100% content, or good game but it's Gen 3? Which one?
I mean,
Flip a
I-
coin.
I'll give it-
PokeStar Studios is in black and white too, because I don't really like.
Shit, you're
PokeStar
right. Yeah, let's just leave
Yeah.
Emerald. Let's just leave Emerald there.
but there's also Battle Frontier though.
Oh, but they also have that ghost side mission with the dark guy that killed that girl. I love that side mission.
Oh man, that's
I have
hard.
no idea what you're talking. Wow, that's crazy.
It's that desert town. It's the
Yeah.
desert town. And she's like, oh, the Luna Wing, I can't take it now, and that's how you get Cresselia. And then it's just based about like there's like
that's
the
an
mid.
interesting
Oh,
side
I
mission.
remember
Could you
that.
just stare to this
Yeah.
red light real quick?
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
guess
freaking
he's
right.
talking to someone. Damn, that's kind of hard. I think
Oh wait, Black and White 2 had the PWT though.
Okay, yeah. We
Oh.
can put it up there. I never got to
Yeah.
play the PWT either.
I didn't either, but god dang, it looks sick.
All right, so
I
Sun
played a little bit of it. It's
And
hard.
rotation battles, bro.
Sun versus Ultra
Heartbreaker
Sun.
Charles. Come on now.
Sun
Uh,
versus Ultra Sun.
That's fun. Fine.
That's fine?
Sun is a strong.
I don't know, man. I think I might have to give it to Ultra, dude. That Rainbow Rocket story and just
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
extra Pokemon that they
Yeah.
brought in.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean, the alternate Crossbow fight, as stupid.
yeah, but this is the one that brought in Meganadel. It brought in freaking
It is still the
Blacephalon.
definitive version of Sun and Moon,
Yes, and then
and it
I
got rid
think
of
it
the
could
tutorials. I think
go-
we can justify it,
Yeah.
and the only thing that Sun has over it is the story.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. So
and this
for
is
us here-
interesting.
Yeah, Jaquan, how do you want to do us?
this one-
This is
okay,
interesting.
So Alpha Cypher is right. That's in the
Okay.
right place. That's in the right place.
Good, good, good.
X is right after it.
Okay,
Yeah.
with you.
And Platinum is last. There you go.
Okay, that sounds
I think
correct.
I can agree with that.
That sounds good.
I prefer.
I
I
accept
think
this.
Black and White's my all-time favorite. I would probably go Black White out, or I'd probably switch Black and White with Oraz, and then it'll go Pokemon Black and White, Alpha Sapphire, X, Scarlet, Platinum. So a couple
Yeah.
switches here and there, but I like this. These games.
I would
like
I
this.
would have just put Scarlet there, and then called it a day, and then called it a day.
But
But
I think
we'll
this is
let
a
the
pretty
negative stand.
good list we can agree on.
All right, so this is our definitive Pokemon tier list, encapsulating the best of every generation, pinning every generation's strengths against each other. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, hope you take care.
Later.